Right, hello. Hopefully notification goes out for this stream. So obviously, when I did the video the other day where I had a corona test, and luckily I came back negative, you would not believe I think you probably would, but the amount of weird comments I got on that video from, people, I guess, who don't have any understanding of any sciences or anything like that at all. I don't know much about science, I'll be honest, but I'm pretty sure that, a coronavirus test is not used to harvest your DNA to make, like, mutant satanic monkeys, or whatever some of the other weird comments were. So I thought we'd have a good laugh and go over some of the weird things I heard on the comments. Also, because it seems to annoy people with a very low IQ, so that's quite funny as well. But yeah, I wouldn't have known that you could make loads and loads of people really angry just simply by going to get the coronavirus test. Because you've come into contact with somebody who might have had it, therefore it's a sensible thing to do. But yeah, no, apparently I'm an idiot for letting the Satanists take my blood or something, even though they didn't take a blood sample. They're going to use it to clone me or something with my DNA, even though they've already got my DNA, like nearly everybody. So it was quite funny. Loads and loads of weird comments on that video. We'll go through some of them as well. But depressingly, you also got like the really racist ones where, X group of people caused corona. Yeah, I know, Alf, they're making it all worse. Yeah, the most common comment I got was that you're an idiot for letting them take your DNA. Schools are going to have to reopen because kids need to learn, and obviously the homeschooling thing's not been working because most parents can't be bothered to do it. Again, it's going to make the infection go up, but there's no way around it. I've only got one S10 now. I gave one of my other ones away for free to a supporter, so I'm not selling the other S10. Yeah, there was lots of weird comments. Of course, there was, the regular stuff of let's blame the Jews for this, unfortunately, which gets really tiring because you think they'd come up with a new conspiracy, but no. But it's just depressing, isn't it, though, when you get people that literally are making this thing worse because it's all some big Illuminati plot or something to control them. Oh, what was that comment say? I missed it. Here's the thing, though, right? My DNA would already be on file, like nearly everybody. If you've gone and had a blood test, I'm sure your DNA is on file. And I don't think there's many people that reach adulthood without ever needing a blood test for some sort of illness or whatever else. All right, Daniel. Hey, you guys. Okay, that's in the sloth voice in my head all the time now. I'd rather the stream didn't turn into religion either. People are welcome to follow what religions they choose or not to follow, but, I don't want to start a religious argument. There's not a man behind me, Vladimir Putin. There's a sign. There's some riot armor. There's not a man behind me. Yeah, that's Nixie tube clock. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because I'm sure I'll get a load of dislikes from the people who think the satanic Illuminati were taking my blood and putting nanobots inside me. I wish I was making this up, but I was seeing comments like that. But basically, everybody has their DNA on file. That's my point. And why would I care if they had my DNA on file? Because, I don't go around raping and murdering people, so I don't really have anything to hide in that regard. But, the original Night Stalker got caught by DNA evidence, like years and years later, which was good, so that cunt didn't get away with it forever. But yeah, that's my point, is I really don't care if my DNA is on file because I'm not a criminal, Well, it's hard to debunk a conspiracy theory that's such nonsense, isn't it? Like I said, you literally go there, all they do is put a swab in your mouth and then up your nose, put it in a bag, and they give you an ID number, and then you just register that ID with your email and that, so they can email you to say if you've tested positive or negative. But Yeah, it's really weird though, because like I said, how can you disprove conspiracy theories that are so crazy? Because I mean, they're obviously not true, but if you say that, you're in on it as well. Yeah, I've got a BMW made one that's on my wall over there, but I can't get it down really. All right, Thomas. But yeah, so I'll go over all the sort of comments I got. I got the regular racist ones where people are either saying it's Jews or somebody else making coronavirus or spreading it or trying to control us. I didn't get any 5G comments, weirdly. It's like they're getting bored of the 5G theory now. But there was lots of them, like they use it to take your DNA for various reasons. There's others that say they use it to infect you with coronavirus when you go to get a test. Like somehow they secretly infect you. I don't know how. Maybe their swab has the coronavirus on it when they put it in your nose and mouth. I don't know. Then won't be the point of saying you tested negative. Just having a test, really, Alf. Unfortunately, I had to have the test because some people didn't do the sensible thing of, having symptoms, not isolating, risking infecting a load of other people. So then I had to get a test, but I was negative. That's cool. Radiac Maniac, aka Keaton. There's Anonymous American. There's lots of paedophiles in power all over the world. That doesn't surprise me at all. Oh, bots. What happens if you reverse past it, though? Oh, yeah, 666 Devil Nanobots being put on my nose. Exactly, Mike. I've forgotten that one. Probably because they brainwashed me. Well, I've looked at both sides of this, and I don't think there's literally Satanists giving people coronavirus at testing labs. There's an RPK in the background, but I can't show it you because that would be breaking YouTube's policy if I picked it up. Oh, Peter Fiteni is getting pretty butthurt. He says, "Why do you refuse to answer questions? Is it because you choose?" Oh, he's been deleted. I was reading that, but basically, make a sensible question and answer it. If you just insult people, of course you're going to get blocked because you're being a dick. It's a pretty simple answer, isn't it? Or are you too stupid to understand that? But I did block people for basically saying racist things about Jews the other day. Do you think I should just let them spout neo-Nazi propaganda online on my comments? I don't think so. But you don't obviously make YouTube videos, do you? So you don't have any stakes in this whole thing. Oh, he's been completely deleted now. What a shame. I'm sure I won't miss him. Oh, the word is arse. Ass is the American thing, and ass is a donkey. Arse is your arse. Yeah, the only reason I'm going over it, Marcus, is just because obviously, I'm saying like all the sort of shit I was getting in the comments recently. But here's the thing, right? When people say, why do you delete certain comments or not? Most of the time now I don't get time to reply to comments other than on live streams or on certain videos, just if I'm interested in checking what the comments have been on it recently. So if somebody says good video, I normally just say something like thank you. If somebody asks a question, I answer it. But if somebody just goes on an insulting rant or starts just talking nonsense or gibberish, generally I either delete the comment or block them, depending on how seriously, Invested in Tesla? What, like holding stocks in Tesla? I wish, but no, I don't have any Tesla stocks. All right, Peach. You've missed one guy who got upset already, Peach, saying, why do I delete everybody that doesn't kiss my ass, even though I don't? Yeah, fun and games with the corona testing, Trevor, but it's not that bad at all. They literally just put a swab up your nose, makes your eyes water a bit, but, wasn't too bad. The low range one is not the high range tube on the DP63. No, I do not believe I have a CM7M. Yeah, I mean, look at Flat Earth Justin Vapor. That's literally one, isn't it? Where they have no evidence at all that the Earth is flat, but they just spout more and more bullshit whenever they get called out on any of it. There's a lot of factors in Iron Man, supposedly. Apparently, your weight is a big thing. Like, the fatter you are, the worse you'll get it. Your age, the older you are, the worse you'll get it. Apparently, certain blood types might be affected differently. There's loads and loads of factors. But I don't think there's much truth to the race thing, because a lot of that was simply because a lot of black people in the UK worked in sort of, like more poverty type conditions, meaning that they were more likely to catch it. And then, they had a lower quality of life, lower quality diet. It wasn't the fact they were black or white. It was just, if you're working class and get it and struggling to make ends meet, you're probably going to suffer more from a virus. Yeah, I've got an OM90. The thing I find really funny of it, Bots, is the fact it's literally a copy of the S10, just not as good, especially with the lenses, because the S10 outserts clip onto it. How the hell does one of your friends have something that gives off 4 Rontgen per hour? I don't know if they should legally have that. Yeah, that's the thing, Steve. Apparently there's more evidence when it comes to, like, blood groups and things like that, but I don't think there's much of a race thing, because there's certain African countries that aren't getting it bad at all, apparently. But yeah, it's got the exact S10 lenses, except for only one little bit's got plastic in. The rest is just like black plastic you can't see through. MTP gear is fine. Again, it's thin and rips easily, like all of the British Army camo stuff, but it's a good camo pattern. Thank you for the Love Heart games, but I can't read. Is that Arabic, the rest of it? I can't read Arabic. Connor, what the fuck Keaton, sorry, what the fuck do they have that gives off 200 millisieverts? That's 20 Rontgen, right? What the hell sort of radiation source do they have that does that? Because I think they're probably going to be dying pretty soon if they keep a radiation source like that in their house. 3 millisieverts gamma is fucking 0.3 Rontgen, isn't it? It's like, the fuck? You've really distracted me there, Keaton, but I am very interested in what this source is, just because it sounds like something a regular person should be not allowed to own. Even like massive bits of radium, well, I mean, really, really big bits of radium give off really high readings, but regular people don't have those in their houses. Yeah, I mean, man, I think the problem is that if you're in a vulnerable condition, it is very, very likely to kill you if you catch it. But I mean, I think we've gone a bit overboard on some of the economic lockdown measures, because again, that's damaged the economy. Yeah, Scott P2000 filters JL have like a really weird plastic smell with them. Right, I'm going to look this up and probably go to Prism. Is that somebody on YouTube, you mean? So what's the video on the radioactive sources, or what? I mean, there's one that says 2.2 Rontgen per hour beta and gamma of radium-226, maxing out 1.5 Rontgen mode of. I'm kind of worried, as much as I find radiation stuff really cool. I'm kind of worried that there's just somebody in their house that has sources this big. Let me look at their video they've got of I mean, one of the videos, at least he's in like a lab kind of environment with it. But yeah, I'm kind of worried if the person has yeah, right. I'm not going to look any more at that channel now, but yeah. Thank you very much, Cole Taylor. Sorry, I only just noticed your message because I was looking at that channel Thingy Bob was saying about. Well, the Israeli M15, that's good. Well, radiation is moved about by the weather, Iron Man. So obviously wind moves radioactive sources if they're loose around. Rain can break them down into other things and, then get absorbed and rained back down and whatever. No, I've never had to buy a wheelie bin before. No, but here's the thing. Even if this radioactive source... I'm sorry, I'm just going to go back to this because I find it interesting. Even if this really strong radioactive source he has is legal, how did he even get hold of that? Because in most places, as a civilian, you can't buy stuff like that. Now, I know there's people who are physicists who can buy from, like specialist places that will supply you with basically any isotope you want because you're a physicist. But, how would a regular person even go about that? Because, it's not exactly something normal people have access to. No, I do not have a Car 98. Sky's Chernobyl series was excellent. There's a couple of historical inconsistencies in it, but it's just done for the sake of really keeping the series moving and being consistent. Well, it's legal claw, so yes. Because obviously, I would not ever on a public YouTube channel recommend people break the law. I don't know, the Chinese did the same thing, Real Disco. I'm pretty sure straight 6 diesel, you're not allowed to own uranium-235 as a civilian, because if you accidentally put too enough of it together, boom. Right, I'm just going to warn people, don't ask any dodgy questions on here or you're getting an instant block, because sometimes with some of the radiation things, it sounds like people are asking very leading questions. So I'm going to get rid of one of those, but any radiation that gets in you is bad. I'll just give it that simple answer, don't bring it up again. The CT12 doesn't have the drinking tube, the FM12 does, is the easy way of answering it. The Sparrow was making a joke there, so you didn't need to hide his comment. But yes, I have actually had comments like that, the Sparrow. Not all those things put together in one comment, but various bits of that sort of conspiracy in different comments. Let me look this up. As much as I said this is distracting me. I can't find anything coming up on Google about it. Yeah, but that's combined, is it, Jame? Like, as in, or Jamie, as in, like alpha, beta, and gamma? Because the gamma is generally pretty low on the radium stuff. It's only like 2.3% of the emissions. Yeah, exactly, bots. So I just want to know this stuff, so I won't ever call the police on you and try and get you into shit. But yeah, it's not like we've had to deal with that before here, is it? No, I don't have any World War One gas masks, only a replica of World War One masks. For like the 5th time somebody says about King gas masks, they're shit copies of Israeli masks, don't play them. Iron Man, at some point I am going to get round to doing a video of my giant whiteboard actually doing a load of radiation, sort of basic physics lessons with it, but I've just never got round to it yet. But basically, Iron Man, imagine a dot and then lots and lots and lots of lines coming out from the dot. So if this was your dot, you'd have basically, rays coming out of it. That's why the radiation symbol is a trifoil. It's meant to show the energy coming off of a source. And then imagine as they get out, they spread but become weaker. So basically, it's that sort of shape coming off of the thing, where it's spreading out as it goes out, but it's coming from a point. Well, I've never bought them, Spoopy. I just know they're copies of actual masks, and that always really worries me if there's a company breaking copyright on regular masks. It fries at the moment between very sunny and very rainy. Well, it depends. Do you mean combined alpha, beta, and gamma? Radiac Maniac, because if it's combined alpha, beta, gamma, that's not crazy at all from radium. Because the DP63 dial, I think, normally gives 8 to 10 millisieverts per hour of alpha, beta, gamma. Because there's lots of aircraft clocks that do that. But it means they obviously painted it with a lot of radium paint at the time, but only the British one, straight 6 diesel, not the American one. I'm getting rid of the person that keeps spamming questions they already know the answer to, because I've done videos on swords and things like that. Oh, but can you legally buy it? Well, of course you fucking could, or I couldn't do videos on it. $70 microsieverts isn't a lot, though, 1.5 feet away. If you have a combined alpha, beta, gamma ones, that will easily pick stuff like that off of radium. Again, you don't want to be getting those readings, but I'm saying it's not a normal. It's just radium doing that. Yeah, Simfrost, everything is fine with the test, other than the weird comments I've been getting about them harvesting my DNA, etc. from it. It's because he killed himself, Shade Church. David Hand killed himself. He didn't die of radiation. He killed himself. It's a different thing. If somebody kills themselves, it has nothing to do with, suicide. Imagine, I don't know. I just find it weird when people somehow don't understand the difference between suicide and actually dying of something. Well, you'd have to link me, because at the moment I'm not really finding it. I'm doing a stream. I don't know why you'd want to manufacture a reproduction of GP5. You can buy brand new Soviet mask styles directly from Russia, because some factories still make them. But no, you couldn't get one really built in Iron Man, but you could just tape a Geiger counter to a gas mask and that work. I've done videos before on EDC stuff, Visa, but it varies a bit depending on the time of the year and what I'm doing. But generally, it's just things like keys, wallet, phone, Yeah, those Geiger counter watches are pretty cool, but they're quite expensive for what they are, considering you could just literally have a watch and a little wrist dosimeter next to each other. Right, Gasmas boy, I get sensible questions, but then I also get people just spamming the same questions over and over when I've already answered them, or people just basically saying nonsense, wanting me to read it out. Thank you, Cole Taylor. Right, state is in US state. Don't know. Texas is pretty cool because it's, Texas. But I probably would prefer New England states if I had to live there just because of, climate and everything. But my favorite steel helmet, probably the East German M56, just because of the shape of it. No, I'm not a prepper. If it's radium, Jamie, it will literally be 2 to 3% gamma because radium only gives out 2 to 3% gamma. I really don't know, Tony Draper, because the only thing like a smoke hood I use is the Avon escape hood, and I didn't like that. There is apparently some quite good, I think, is it Draeger that do an escape hood, smoke hood thing? They look alright. I've never tried them. Yeah, microchips are fairly big, aren't they? The ones they put in cats and dogs. They're literally not something that would fit in a 1 milliliter of liquid in a syringe. Yeah, that'd be cool. Iron Man, but we're probably a while off that yet. Right. Frieskenhoppner is a German company, OK9. Let me look up if that particular one comes up with any results, because they made various things. I've got a Frieskenhoppner little one here, but that's a decimeter pen. But yeah, this is a Frieskenhoppner. Oh no, sorry, this is an Automess. The other one I had was a Frieskenhoppner. But anyway, let me Google that big long Geiger counter name you said. No, Mike, I don't think I have, but remind me when I'm not on the stream and I'll try and look at it. Let me search that one for you then, OK9, and see if it comes up with a result. That's an interesting looking one. No, I've not seen that Geiger counter before. So that looks more like a probe, that particular one you said about. Ah, yeah, it's meant to be part of a kit. Yeah, so what that kit essentially is a Geiger counter unit with an assortment of probes. So a pretty standard thing. I've not used that particular one, but it seems very similar to a lot of the other old Cold War ones where, you had a suitcase type thing, like a big wooden case, and then you had your Geiger counter in there, like probe attachments and whatever else. If it's a good price, it's probably worth getting. I already did. Connor, can you... Not Connor. Keaton, can you please stop spamming all this stuff? Like I said, talk to me about it, not on a stream. Because I've already looked the channel up and you just keep going, look up this channel you already looked up. I think most people here have a GP5, because they're dirt cheap. Ordinarily, Derek, I don't really think so, because 3M more sells stuff to civilians under the regular market, so you'd have to get ABEC filters, which are essentially equivalent. Hype sent it me, so I neither built it myself or bought it. So it's one sent to me from China, basically. What sort of movies are you into in it? If you name a genre, maybe we can think of some films for you. What's my rarest gas mask? Hard to say. I've got 2 C7 masks. They're fairly rare. GP5 is better than TF1. TF1 is more modern, don't get me wrong, but GP5s are actually built to a better build quality and material quality. Comedy and action, the Naked Gun series, Airplane. Yeah, considering what they cost at the moment, yeah, I would get one for £35 if I didn't have one. As I said the other day, Spoopy to Doopy, it's probably my German World War II Nazi Volksmask or Volksmask 37, because that would be from about 1937, 1938 sort of time period. I've got a load of other World War II masks that could be, late 1930s, but Bought it on eBay like everything. No Radiac Maniac, because metal detectors detect basically magnetism of metal objects, not radiation fields. Yeah, lots of strangely OK9 old Cold War meters ended up getting used in like civilian lab kind of things afterwards, just because they were laying around and cheap. Worst gas mask I own is a Chinese pewter full face gas mask. It's fucking atrocious. Right, I'm not going to bother replying to comments that I get asked every stream, like how many gas masks do you have, what's your favourite gas mask, all of those, just because it gets so fucking tiring. I'd assume some shitty additive to the rubber, damn it, but I don't actually know. Right, has anybody got any interesting questions? I'm all ears if you've got interesting questions. If not, I suppose we could talk about films, because that's actually more interesting a lot of the time than being asked my favourite gas mask over and over. Yeah, I was in that, but that's in a lab setting, Radiac Maniac. That's not in somebody's house. Yeah, it's... yeah, like you said, 100 Rontgen point blank, so it jams the Geiger. Basically makes it read 0. Favourite blade from a film, Peach? That's a very good question. I like the Orakai kind of sword machete thing from Lord of the Rings. They need to reopen. They need to follow safety measures when they reopen, but kids need to go back to school. No, they didn't make Pluto or Porky Pig masks. DP75 is good, but it breaks easily, apparently. Thankfully, mine's not broken. Pearl Harbor's a pretty atrocious film. Watch Tora, Tora, Tora. I've got pancake probes. Have you not watched my videos on them? No, sadly, I do not have the one they used at Chernobyl that maxed out at... because technically it's one that measures in radiation per second, and it measures... The max thing is 1 millirontgen per second, therefore 3.6 rontgen an hour. But no, I've not actually got the one they used in Chernobyl. I did find out the name of it a while ago, and I was trying to find out what it was again. I couldn't find any, but I never saw any for sale. It's quite quite a compact Geiger, though. It's basically designed to be a very accurate one, not a high-range one. If anybody was wondering what Cameron Bullock got blocked by Marcus for, he said, "You suck." That was his comment. Saving Private Ryan's all right. I'd probably just get antique guns now rather than DX, because often they're the same sort of price range and they actually work. Well, I came up negative Instinct V91, and then I got lots of comments about how they were using it to harvest my DNA, etc. Tom Hanks' Greyhound. Band of Brothers is a good series. Yeah, I've got that on Blu-ray. I think I prefer Band of Brothers to the Pacific, but both are quite good. No, I've not seen Unknown Soldier 2017. Yeah, Fury's not very good because, you know, it's about a tank that magically cannot be shot by 88 guns. Virtual Tour Channel made a good comment. He said the reason they test people is to contain the virus and try to save all the people, including those who I wouldn't wish to be saved. Sorry, conspiracy crowd. But yeah, that's it. You know, the people who think it's to harvest your DNA, or, you know, the Queen needs your blood or some bullshit like that, you know. Oh, okay, that's interesting, Visa. I've seen one about the Winter War. I can't remember what it was called. I think it started with a T. Yeah. All of the interesting thing bots people could do with their time, I know, let me do shit attempts at harassing people online. That makes me feel like a big man. I've not seen any Mission Impossible films except the first Mission Impossible that came out in like the 90s, I think. I only wear it, Billy, if I have to wear it, and at the moment, that means never, unless I'm doing it for a video, because I don't work anywhere where I'm likely to get stabbed anymore. But yeah, when I used to work in the city, I used to wear the vest because of the amount of like crackheads you'd get, hiding around bus stations going like, give me money, you know. I haven't seen that movie at all. Somebody brought that up the other day, and I thought when I was looking at the thing, it looked like an MSA Millennium in the picture. All right, see ya, landing if you're off. Well, the old Midway film that's from the 70s, or whatever it's called, that's good. The one with Charlton Heston in, or do you mean like a more modern one? Because the problem with a lot of World War II films is they've been remade so many times. I just search my channel, Jane. That's the easiest thing to do. Literally, search a channel. Otherwise, I'm going to need to go dig out a rate meter and then wire up a pancake probe with it, which I'm not going to do on the stream. But I have several pancake probes. But I'll tell you what I can show you really easily. It's not really a pancake probe, but there you go. There's an Alpha Mica probe, Soviet one. I've got a couple of these. I've got a Ludlam pancake probe. I've got another Ludlam sort of flat Alpha probe, but that needs to be rewired up because the wire in it snaps. Luckily, the probe isn't. It's half broken, like the GM tube. It's just when the wire's broke, so it needs to be resoldered. But I'm not very good at soldering, so I never got around to doing it. American Psycho's all right. I mean, it's a very overrated film, isn't it? I think it's a good film. It's just one of those films that people seem to think is like one of the best films ever, which I don't think it is, but it's a good. Favorite probe? I really like the Polish DP75's probe, actually, because it's got a really good steel, bit that goes over it to block all the beta getting through and stop electromagnetic interference interfering with the probe. And it's got an SBM20 tube. Well, it's not SBM20, is it, on the DP75? It has a really good, Polish tube on it, which I don't even know the name of, for the low radiation ranges, for beta up to about half a Rontgen per hour. And then it has a similar tube to the SI3BG, I think, or it might just be an SI3BG for the up to 500 Rontgen. No, it's actually not an SI3BG, is it? It's like a little tiny ionization chamber on the back of the probe. It's a really cleverly designed probe, because it's kind of like a Geiger Miller tube on one side of it and an ion chamber on the other for the different radiation ranges. Yeah, Naked Gun's brilliant. Cole Taylor, you must be new here. You do know I'm saving for a bunker. I've got a very big probe behind me saying that. Look at the size of this probe. That's the probe from the DP3 ionization chamber. So it's basically a giant ion chamber in this probe. It's not even a Geiger tube in there. That's a cool probe, but it's pretty impractical because it's like 100 millirontgen is like lowest reading you'll get on it. Old Top Gear is good and the Grand Tour is good. BBC Top Gear now is shit. The range of them radioactive cow background radiation, so about 0.1 microsieverts an hour, up to I think a couple of sieverts per hour. But that doesn't actually measure 15,000 Rontgen per hour straight 6 diesel. It only goes up to 500 Rontgen. Now, I'm not really joking about that. It is way cheaper than the house, way cheaper than the shitty flat. I've been saving for a while, but recently I actually made a proper savings account so I can move money into it and not move it out till I've got enough in there for the bunker. Yeah, what was I going to... The sake decimeter. Let's see what it maxes out of. I'll see if the plasma ball lets me max one out. Be right back. There's the plasma ball. Right, let's turn it on. No, buying an actual bunker. If you wanted to build one, you'd need to buy the land, and buying the land would be like hundreds of grand in the UK. Right, let's just get that to start. Right, okay, so what we'll do is we'll just wait for that to warm up, and then it should say 0.0 or 0.2 microsieverts an hour or whatever. Sorry if that's not focusing very well. All right, thank you, Cole Taylor. I will definitely use that $2 towards the bunker. You've paid like 0.01% of it, but thank you. Yeah, exactly, Peach. That's the problem. Well, yeah, because it's, as I said, 10 times cheaper than the house. As Ethan, Radioactive Cow literally just answered you like a comment above you. But yeah, it's literally 15 to 30k. Some of them a bit more, but it depends on how much you have to restore it. You know, how much land you get with it and all. ROC bunkers, damn it. Right, okay, so there we go. It's 0.2 microsieverts, which you can hopefully see at the moment. Let's see if this screws up if I put on the plasma ball. Maybe you can see that. It says 0.2 microsieverts anyway. Right. Right, it thinks it's at 58 millisieverts now. 472 millisieverts, 600. But yeah, that is going up to like 500 millisievert range there. It's gone back down now, but so yeah, I think this goes to like at least a sievert, but 500 millisieverts, like it was displaying randomly just then, that's like 50 Rontgen. So these are very good just for a personal decimeter. Because I said they take up no room, do they? If you just have it clipped onto a thing like that, and then you can just look down and see your dose. Somebody said it earlier, OK9. Let's read what it's called. A Sake PDI-2. A load of these got retired in the UK recently because I think the armed police used them or bits of the Ministry of Defence. So basically, it's one of those counters that every now and then, you know, they bulk sell off a load of old ones. So they end up costing, you know, like £30 or less for a decimeter. I've got an Xbox 360 and a PS3. They're the newest consoles I have because I do everything on the PC. I've got a PS1 in the attic, I think. Got a load of PS1 games up there. Yeah, plasma balls are cool. They can set off Geiger counters. I mean, it's not good if you wanted one that was heavily shielded, but it's good if you just want a fake reading. Well, I've just thought of something interesting. Let me get my Chinese Type 75 Geiger counter. That's here. If I take the back panel off, the steel cage shouldn't act like a Faraday cage, and I can probably get it to go up to a really high Rontgen reading. Let's try that. So obviously, if I do a circuit test on it, it's showing it's above the red line, which is for the battery. So that's what, like 50 to 75 Rontgen. Anyway, let's take the back panel off. Yes, that's damn it. Like Marcus says, that's what the actual channel's for. I don't have a store. I don't sell things. Now and again, I like to do personal sales for people if I'm getting rid of a mask and they want one. It's somebody, I can trust to actually pay for it and not try and... Well, it's the one that had that in radioactive cow. It doesn't have it in there anymore. It's locked in my gun safe now where people can't, fuck about with it. But, yeah, it's the one that had the, sort of... Was it about 2 Rontgen or something? I mean, that was in terms of beta, so it's not actually that high in terms of, obviously, gamma or whatever. But, yeah. Right, let me get all of these things off, the screws, and then we'll see what the reading goes to. That's not what I want, is it? That's the one I want, because it's got a much smaller end bit on it, so it makes getting screws out easy. Ah, sounds very cool, Sparrow. But again, how much room did it have in a 250k bunker compared to like a house you could get for 250k? Because the bunkers always seem way better priced. But here's the thing, as we said before, you need a lot of money for land if you're actually buying the land that doesn't just come with a house with it. There's a clock right behind me. Read the clock. It's not a fake time on it. If Stalker 2 ends up being good, then yes, but I don't want to hold my breath too much in case it ends up being shit. I'm tempted to get a PS5 for the Demon Souls remake, in all honesty. Like remake, remaster. Right. Just undoing these screws, and then we can see how high this goes. Yeah, but the game has to still be good underneath, Dan. What I'm saying is because it's not being made by the people, not all of them made the original Stalker. Well, there we go. So there's this counter for those of you that are wondering what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, it says 844. Right, let's see if this now goes up. Yeah, there we go. Can you see that needle moving from there? That's about 150 Rontgen. It's still going down because it doesn't go down instantly, look. See, it's going to 0 now. Put it back over. Whee! Radiation. 100 Rontgen. Although, obviously, it's not 100 Rontgen because it's the plasma ball doing it, but still. Yeah, makes it think it's 100 Rontgen. It does if they're not shielded. Radioactive cow. If they're shielded, like a metal cased one, like Victorine, like 715s and that, no, it doesn't affect them. But yeah, when they're anything where there's only like plastic or whatever around the tube. Yeah, but that's the nice thing, at least with this Geiger counter in particular, is because yeah, that's where the SR90 source was, for the people wondering. See that bit there, in the middle? That's the bit where there was like a thing there, container. You press the button here, and it exposed the source. But I've taken it out now because obviously I prefer having it as a sample, like in test with other things. It does, Marcus, but they have to be ones that don't have a steel case around them, as I said. So my Victorine 450 will go off on one, and I think the Keithleys do. Let me just show you in a minute. Oh, like the Titan missiles. Yeah, but I suppose you could cheaper, couldn't you, buy your own Titan silo and then convert it yourself? Let me just tighten this back up so I don't lose it. If another Chinese Type 75 comes up for sale, I'm very tempted to get one just because of how good the sauce is, the Czech sauce that comes with these. But, Not quite as good as the DP63 back screen, though. It depends how you wanted to use it, though, doesn't it? If you just bought one and wanted to convert like 1 or 2 rooms in it, that wouldn't cost too much. It's like a lot of things like that. Depends if you want to do the whole silo or just 1 or 2 rooms. Again, up to you. I'm not telling anybody what to do, am I? So, right. Anyway, for the people that want to see the these ones, look. Right. Let me just zero this. I might have the switch in the wrong place. Yeah, there we go. Right. There we go. That's about zeroed. So now let me move the switch over so it goes into active mode. And then that number in a moment will go back down to basically 0 or just over 0. It's on minus at the moment. Problem with ion chambers is they read a little bit when you move them about. So yeah, where it says 13 at the moment, if I hold it steady, it should go down. Let me just go back on the 0 function. Check it's still zeroed. Yep. I reckon I'm going to have to zero it ever so slightly higher. Right, let's leave it like that. Notice it's already picking the plasma ball up from all the way over there. Yep. Don't know why it wants to keep giving a reading of like minus radiation. Whatever. But yeah, if you want to see, I don't know how visible that screen will be over here, but yeah, that's gone off range there. So let's move it on to the next setting. Off range, right, let's go to up to 20 Rontgen per hour. And that's reading 12 Rontgen on there. On the other mode, that's, I think, the accumulative dose mode. But yeah, the point is that ion chambers do get readings on plasma balls if they're not insulated well enough. See, it's still not gone down yet. So yeah, it got to 1.84 Rontgen. But yeah, as I said, that's not a real radiation reading. It's just plasma balls get non-shielded detectors to screw up. It's quite cool. What was Cole Taylor on about? I'm confused now about. But yeah, any other questions before I go off to do with like Geiger counters, radiation, corona, any of that stuff? Where did I put my Swiss Army knife? Because I was tightening up this screw. Anyone want to see the little Chinese booklet from that? The funny thing with this booklet is obviously it's all in Chinese, but there's a couple of things that aren't. So let's see if I can find strontium 90, like SR90 written in it. I think somewhere it has strontium 90 written in it. Something J450, whatever that is. Here's the calibration page. I'm assuming that's saying it's passed the tests on the different ranges. It's a little red book, but it's not Mal's little red book. Steel, the thickness of a typical tank gives you a radiation protection factor of 10 to 1, apparently. So if it was 100 Rontgen outside, you get about 10 Rontgen inside the tank from gamma radiation. Alpha and beta radiation wouldn't be able to get through the tank, and the overpressure system keeps contaminants out. So yeah, you're about 10 times safer in a tank than you are outside if there's radiation. But, you know, it's still not good, in a sense, if that makes sense. I've put that bloody cover on the wrong way, look. See, it sticks out slightly at the top that way. Oh, I'll find my Swiss Army knife once I stop the stream and sort it out properly. Yes, I've got to use Shanker somewhere. Anyway, I'll go off now, but thanks everybody. It was quite a good stream for the most part. We only had 1 or 2 people going like, "You fuck," you know. Most of the stream was quite good. But yeah, so for the people asking about the sakes, they at least go, I think they're meant to go to about 1 sievert, but it was reading something like 500 millisievert on the plasma ball, but obviously that isn't a real reading of that radiation. All right, see you all. Have a good evening.